Yeah.
Does everybody have a copy of the annual report? Please, go ahead and start cruising that. I am not gonna read this thing word for word. I know y'all are- y'all are happy about that. So to make this a little quicker.
I guess it was a surprise.
So I guess I better say I call the annual business meeting to order. And you have the annual report. You'll notice last week's date on it. But that's okay. If you've got the last Oracle last month, you basically saw my president's report for the year. Only a couple of things I want to highlight from it, and basically it's just to congratulate the society, congratulate the members of the society, and thank the members of the society for just the outstanding job of fundraising that was done to raise the $64,000 to replace this roof over this part of the building right here. And it was done in relatively quick order, a few months, essentially. I was afraid that would become an albatross around the society's neck and, go on and on and on and kind of hamper things that we wanted to do in the future, but it didn't. We met that goal. We met it very quickly. And so I just want to extend my appreciation to all of y'all, to folks that aren't here, that donated to this very important project. You certainly can tell and can see that the preservation of the structure, the integrity of the structure needs to be of paramount importance to us. It wasn't just but a few years ago that we completed these internal renovations, the audio visual capacity for the room, the equipment, and it certainly wouldn't be good to let the roof degrade to such a state where we jeopardize all these other improvements that we've made inside the building. So I'm deeply appreciative of your response to that. One other thing I want to highlight is the commemoration we held last summer of the 60th anniversary of the society. It was organized in 1965. I imagine it'll be here in 60 more years, and hopefully 60 more years beyond that. So I look forward to what we're going to accomplish. I'm proud of what we have accomplished. We've done a lot. If you keep up with what goes on in Oracle, that gives you kind of the best real-time snapshot of what's going on and the state of the organization and the initiatives that we're involved with. Just want to give a shout out to Phil back there, who's our content editor for the Oracle. This was his brainchild back in the days of the pandemic. And we had a specific, or he had a specific mission and goal in mind for wanting to do a monthly bulletin like he has established. And it's turned out to probably be maybe the most useful tool in member engagement, community engagement that we have here. And so, Phil, I am very thankful and appreciative of your efforts on that. Yes, sir.
Just a comment on that. Phil has done an excellent job, and to keep this thing going for another 60 years plus. Next time you do, you will remember the Historic Society.
Everybody hear that? The state planning. You won't need it. There we go. But we'll need it.
because we'll still be here. That's what I'm going to.
Okay,
I think that's enough for the president on president's report. But, follow on over to the treasurer's report, I'm not going to read this, but I just want to highlight the numbers. First of all, our investment yield, last year, approximately 12%. Pretty outstanding, I think. All good fiscal ground, you can see down the revenue and how expenditures that we have, but, just know that, we're in good shape financially. We forecast that we're going to continue to be in good shape. We've got this, roof out of the way. I'm sure we'll be figuring out some way to spend a little money over this next year, some good project or projects, plural. Patrick's eyes getting real big over there. So we're in good shape. We're in sound water. Community reports, building and grounds. Again, the roof. We'll have other things that we need to address around here, maintenance things, improvement things. You can see the list that Patrick included. Another high point of our engagement, community engagement, here is the work that our education community does with the Orange County Public School System. That's been going on for 5 years now, I think. We've got current teachers and former teachers and current school board members on our end, leading those efforts. Coming up, we've got in response to America's 250th anniversary, we've got a essay contest that's going to be kicked off across several grades in the public school system with cash prizes going to the winners of those essays. The education committee has just done an outstanding job at leading the charge on behalf of society with the school system. They obviously have our full support. They have gotten a lot of buy-in from the school system, the administration of the school system, and I think one of the most helpful things, at least from my perspective, is that bus tour that y'all conduct at the beginning of every year for the new teachers. Because it's a way to kind of get that captive audience right at the outset and really hammer home just how important a resource the Orange County Historical Society can be for the teaching history in Orange County. And I know that we're going to continue to grow that, continue to find new and better ways to leverage that relationship and provide things of value to the school system, to the teachers, because that's what we're here for. We're here to be a resource. This is not some old dusty building where the padlock stays on all the time. You got to have a special knock in order to get in and see what's here. No, this place has an open door policy. Let me repeat that. This place has an open door policy for what we're the steward of. We're the steward of the things within these walls for the community. And we provide free access to that, which I think is a feather in our cap as far as that goes. I know other institutions aren't quite as liberal as far as that kind of thing goes, but I'm proud that we're a little bit more progressive in that. Membership. 331 good members in good standing. That includes a lot of teachers who get a free membership for the year. Includes a lot of other people that pay not just to be a member of the Historical Society, but they contribute because they believe in the mission of the Historical Society and want to see the mission of the Historical Society continue. And want us to be successful in delivering that mission. Program. How many people have been to every program we had in 2025? Raise your hand. Okay, well, that's your goal for 2026. We won't have one throughout the rest of February, and I don't think we're gonna have one in December. So we'll have 10. This is the first one in 2026. Facebook is the best place to see the schedule. It's all the programs are on there. It's Facebook events. If you go to our Facebook page. Also in Oracle, last month's Oracle has the entire slate, the entire calendar for the year. There may be a change to the date or time as needed, but we don't envision that today. And then also, every Oracle that comes out will tell you about the next one that's scheduled. So there's no excuse for nobody knowing when and where and what the subject matter for a program is. Yes.
I tried to get on the Facebook page today and it wouldn't let me. It said it was private.
Well, you must not be a member. You have to be a member of that Facebook page. All you gotta do is click join.
Oh, okay.
Had you logged in under your, if you actually log into Facebook under your profile or under your login credentials, you should find, you'll see a little button at the top that says join. Well, you gotta talk to Zuckerberg about that. It sounds like you hadn't logged into Facebook, you just kind of punched in Facebook, didn't actually log into it.
Well, I was. I'll try to figure it out.
So we got a lot of good stuff. Well, we had a lot of good stuff last year, had some outstanding programs, especially some outstanding programs in remote locations. And, that's something I really try to emphasize, with uneven results, I think, but the ones where we have been, the place Rockland's Farm, for instance, all of those log buildings and the workshop, his grandfather's workshop, all he built, here, and all the contents and all that good stuff, great, absolutely great. In 2026, I don't think we're scheduled for quite as many remote events. And the one thing that would help us to schedule more remote events is not just a suggestion, hey, why don't y'all go to so-and-so place and have a program? Well, that's great, because we can usually get access. But we need to be able to find somebody who can talk about so-and-so place for 45 minutes or an hour. That's the key, is finding someone who has the expertise and knows history. And we've had various and sundry different styles of presentations of these programs when we go out into the county. And we're not too particular when it comes to that. But that seems to be most of the difficulty, is finding someone who can actually talk about, usually the owner or someone that's closely affiliated with the property. Finding somebody that can talk about it for that amount of time, who knows about the history. So if you have a suggestion for a future program, let me know. Let me know. And if you have a suggestion where that person can handle the delivery of the program, that's even better. So I don't know if anybody noticed, but we failed to produce any of our record newsletters, the one that goes out in the mail this past year. Hopefully that gets resolved for 2026. We did deliver 12 oracles, which is the electronic bulletin.
I know, everybody says, oh, just let that electronic newsletter. It's a bulletin. That's the way I keep straight in my mind. You've got the electronic bulletin, got the printed mail newsletter. The newsletter is a little more scholarly minded, academic minded. The Oracle bulletin is a little bit more kind of what's going on right now. And what went on last week. And what's going on next week. So that's the big difference between those two delivery mechanisms. Research. We've had, there's lots of little research projects going on in the background. Probably the biggest one that's taking a bulk of our time. This past year was our free WAC project research, but that is coming to a conclusion. The bulk of that data collection and compilation has been completed. We're now kind of a QA/QC phase right now, and also trying to figure out how best to package that research, where it's where one we can provide some kind of detail that would be useful to the membership, to people that come in. We're going to have the database, core database will be there. It will be a part of our the data that we house, that we collect, and the raw data will be available for folks that are doing geological research, historical research, whatever. But we'll be looking for ways to turn all or some of that research into some kind of publication article in the future, and make it relevant, because as it is now, it's a huge database of names and dates and other information covering the period of 1734 to 1865. So it's very large. The amount of free black individuals in Orange County for that 131 years, whatever it is, I was very surprised at that, how large it was. I think it would be a great benefit to folks doing geological research, especially in the black community. I think it would be a good way for them to kind of break down that wall that seems to crop up about the Civil War. For a lot of them to do their own family history. And then there's other interesting tidbits that we found out about specific individuals that y'all will be hearing more about in the future from a more purely historical standpoint. So, really great. You can see the investment portfolio report. I won't go into that. Except to say the last bullet, the projected income for this year, 2026, projected $1,568 a month. That revenue goes to pay our staff, keep the lights on, pay the electric bill, pay the essential bills that come up every month. We're really in a really unique situation where we have paid staff that operate this building during the week. A lot of historical societies don't have that. They do it all volunteer labor. Or maybe they have little larger places like over Charlottesville. They've got executive director paid, some other paid staff, but they have probably a larger, more complicated or not setup. So we're getting good value for our money. That's what you're saying? Great. We're allowed to do good. Volunteer support. 470 volunteer hours that we tracked for 2025. That's a lot of time. I know I come here occasionally during the week. There's at least one, maybe two volunteers in here doing something which is necessary. We do require a fair amount of volunteer help because it certainly supplements Ms. Jamie's job, Ms. Ruth's job, our paid research staff, our paid administrative staff. They couldn't do the logistical administrative things that need to be done those volunteer folks that come in and spend time on these little side projects that they do a really good job of identifying and following through to completion. So if you want to volunteer, if you know people that want to volunteer, that, you know, like history, that like to do, you know, crazy little historical research projects, this is in the hallway. We'll take it. Collections. You know, all those shelves behind that door, all these shelves out here, behind this door is our collections. You know, collections are things like photographs, maps, paintings, projectile points, journal volumes, miscellaneous papers, busts of former presidents, et cetera, et cetera. Those all form our collections. One thing that makes Orange County Historical Society a little bit different than maybe other historical societies you've been to, we are not necessarily geared toward three-dimensional objects. Now, we have three-dimensional objects, but we don't have a lot. What we're geared toward here is documents, paper, you know, photographs, maps, things like that. Three-dimensional items for display, items to look at, artifacts in the generalist way. Most of that kind of stuff is over across the street at the James Madison Museum, because they have their own very extensive, very large collection. But we've been continuing to refine the way that we deal with our collections, the way that we make our collections accessible to people who want to do research with them. That is a constant, ongoing effort, and we've been making steady progress over the years, and we anticipate that we'll continue to make progress in that area. Our library, we passed out through our library, you can see some of our library here in this room. We continue to supplement that library wherever we can, whenever we can, with new volumes, with volumes that are donated to us. If you have, and hopefully I'm not jinxing myself, if you or a family member or someone you know has something in their attic or in their basement that the historical society would love to have this, well, check with Jamie first. Make sure that it's something that the historical society would love to have. Because just like with every other facility of this type, we deal with a space issue, and an issue to be able to properly house whatever that thing is. So I'll leave that there. I don't think it's trouble. So that essentially concludes the report, annual report of the society for 2025. Any questions about that? Take this home, read it. This will be published on our webpage, our website. It'll probably be up within the week, I would imagine. So you can refer back to it later on. We've got previous years' annual reports on the website as well, so you can see, kind of see what's been going on over the years at the Orange County Historical Society. Okay. If you turn on the back of your agenda, you'll see the biographies of the 3 directors who are being nominated to fill positions today. We have Tom Chapman, Katie Crawford-Lackey. Beverly Eagle is not here, she's in transit, she had to go out of town all of a sudden a few days ago, she got back to snow today. Tom, just, you stand up, just introduce yourself.
Hi. Tom Chapman. Been a resident of Homer County for almost 7 years, so I'm not from here, I'm from here. So, but previously had some involvement with the Historical Society, working on failures, recently managed Albemarle Charlottesville Historical Society for 5 years. COVID until I lost. Kept my sanity, but needed 5 good years. So then me and my wife run a local flower farm, a little studio in Wardsville. To get some insurance, but then like really crazy insurance costs to do what we had to do. Work track.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Katie Kozlowski. I am originally from the Midwest, but I did grad school in the South and then ended up here for a job at Montpelier. I've been at Montpelier for about 5 years now, working with the Center for Civic Engagement there, and now we're working really with all of the departments, which is really exciting. And I really am trained in public history. So I love making history accessible and engaging for all audiences. So this is a really exciting opportunity to be working with the local community, so the residents of Orange. So thank you for having me.
And Beverly Legal Society here, you can read her on the bottom of the page. So, that is the slate of nominees that will be voted on. Are there any nominations for?
Ray, I'd like to move that we close the nominations and elect the proposed slate by acclamation.
Okay, we've got a motion to close nominations and elect the slate by acclamation. Been properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes, and the new directors have been appointed to their position. Congratulations. Any other business? Okay, hearing none, we adjourn. Thank you all for coming. Board members, please stay behind for 5 minutes.